The 2017 Rolls-Royce Ghost Series II. Now, this is the big sedan that you go out and buy when you realize that the BMW 7 Series just isn't luxurious enough for you. I'm Jay, and welcome to this latest episode of Car Buzz Unboxing Reviews. And what we have here is, yes, it is very much a Rolls-Royce. It just screams Rolls-Royce by its very unique styling, and we're going to talk all about it today on this episode, and I'm really excited to bring you all of the details. I also want to thank Los Gatos Luxury Cars for letting me come on down and film for you today. So just a little brief history of the Rolls-Royce Ghost. It was first revealed way back in 2009, and it was last updated for 2014. That's why this is called the Series 2. Compared to the 2009 model, the Series 2 features new headlights and some restyled body panels and other minor exterior design modifications. The interior, as you can see here, was also updated, and there were redesigned front seats, re-angled rear seats, and an updated dash, and even more premium build quality materials. And I'm going to get more into these materials throughout this review, but as you can clearly see here, this is a step above any BMW, Audi, or Mercedes-Benz. Now, a very interesting fact that not everybody realizes, but you should, is that Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW. In fact, the Rolls-Royce Ghost you see here is built on the same platform as the previous generation BMW 7 Series. But for now, let's start up that engine. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Alright, so that engine, very, very special. That is a twin-turbo 6.6 liter V12 with 563 horsepower, available at between 5,250 RPM and 6,000 RPM, and 575 pound-feet of torque at 1,500 to 5,000 RPM. Now, power goes to all four wheels through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Yes, a twin-turbo V12. Just to give you an idea how special that is, AMG built exclusively for the Pagani Huayra a twin-turbo V12. Now, obviously, different automakers here, but you don't see a twin-turbo V12 every day. So, yes, this is quite an engine. Looking at this exterior here now, they call this diamond black, which, well, it's just a fancier way of saying black. Got these 21-inch 5 twin-spoke alloy wheels that, get this, those wheels cost $8,325 extra. And when I get to all the final pricing, you know what? It's not even going to matter tacking another $8,000 for wheels. You're just spending a bonkers amount of money anyway. This also has full LED adaptive headlights with heated power washers up front. It's everything a Rolls-Royce should be. And notice how the door handles are literally put together like that. Why? Because this thing has what they call the suicide rear doors. You'll see that in a few minutes as well. It's a very unique design feature to Rolls-Royce. But it's kind of hard to tell just by looking at it that this is a BMW 7 Series underneath. Now, granted, there were major changes done. It's an all-new body. The interior is quite different. But this is still the very, very finest quality of British coach building in all the traditional sense. But it's got all this German technology behind it. So, in the past, some Rolls-Royce, maybe like 20 years ago, they had some quality control issues. Not anymore. Oh, I just love this front end design here. Notice how that there's that really short front overhang. It's very sort of square and stubby-like. I particularly really like that. Again, I know it's not for everybody. And yes, those are $8,000 wheels right there. Hard to believe, but it's true. Look at that, twin-turbo V12. Let's talk performance here. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds. Top speed is electronically limited to 155 miles per hour. Obviously, with a V12, you can probably go faster than 155 miles per hour, but Rolls-Royce/BMW really doesn't want you to. Fuel economy, 13 miles per gallon in the city, 21 on the highway, and a combined 15. Total weight for this sucker is about 5,600 pounds. Yeah, it's got a steel monocoque body with steel body panels and doors, but there is an aluminum hood. At that point, I don't think it really does much to reduce weight. Let's step inside here. You have this all black leather interior with full and natural grain hides on the seating surfaces, door panniers, lower pillars, instrument panel, and center console. Personally, I think I would have gone with a lighter interior color if I had gone for what they call the diamond black exterior paint. I just prefer the dark and light contrast. I think just having black on black, it's just a little too dark. I would have preferred just a brighter interior, but again, that's just my personal taste. Now, what you see here, that is all real chrome, metal everywhere, wood of the finest sense. Nothing here is cheap. You gotta look closely here at all of the little touches, the way the switch gear works there. It's raised a little bit. So even when you put your fingers on it, you can feel the quality. And when you spend as much as you do on a Rolls-Royce, you should. There it is, that suicide door. I love how it opens up like that. And the rear seat. Again, it's just, this is one of those cars along with Bentleys and the Mercedes Maybach, which are Rolls-Royce's two main competitors. This is a car you want to be chauffeured around in. In fact, there's 3 versions that you can get of the Rolls-Royce Ghost Series II for 2017. You have the Ghost that you see here. You also have the extended wheelbase version. Now, that one is going to be really, really popular, especially in China. Again, that's a market where people want to be driven around in. Then, of course, you have the top of the line black badge version. But there's also literally an endless number of bespoke options available to Rolls-Royce Ghost buyers. Apparently, according to Rolls-Royce, about 85% of all Rolls-Royces sold are bespoke, and each one can have over 400 working hours put into it right there. So it just goes to show each of these things are custom built to order. Now this one, again, it was ordered by a dealership, so a buyer didn't specify all the specs on this, whatever, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. Sitting inside is literally like, it's like being in a jewelry store. Everything is very shiny and elegant. Just look at that steering wheel. It's almost like a steering wheel you'll see on a yacht. Now, some of the tech that you're going to see here. Okay, you have a 10.2-inch display that's concealed behind an openable veneered cover. Actually, obviously, it's open right now. You'll see it close in a little bit. Satellite navigation system, premium audio system with a 600-watt 10-channel amplifier and 16 speakers with subwoofers. CD, DVD player with AM/FM radio and satellite and HD radio. There's also a USB socket with 20.5 gigabyte of hard disk space for music files from either the USB or the CD player. There's also a voice recognition system to control the navigation, telephone, and entertainment functions. Obviously, there's Bluetooth, integrated universal remote for your garage, or probably in the case of a Rolls-Royce owner, the front gate to your mansion. Now, looking at this 10.2-inch display system here, aside from the overall look of it, obviously the writing and some of the graphics, this is literally BMW's iDrive system, which again I think is a very good thing. I don't think this is anything more advanced than what you can get currently on any BMW, which is BMW iDrive 5.0, but I found the system to function really overall quite well. But again, remember, BMW technology here. So if you like iDrive, if you're used to working with it, especially with a rotary dial, which has pretty much become an industry standard today, you're not going to have any problems whatsoever figuring this out. Now let's talk some safety here. What do we got? Well, you have front seat active head restraints, driver and front passenger front airbags, side impact airbags, active knee protection up front, head protection system front and rear, power assisted ventilated disc brakes on all wheels with 4-channel ABS braking system. There's also brake energy regeneration, dynamic brake control, dynamic stability control, including dynamic traction control and cornering brake control, electric parking braking feature, hill hold function, and dynamic emergency brake. There's also, this is kind of cool, the side and top view cameras. Again, you wouldn't know what's going around you when you're driving a car as expensive as this. Just my personal advice. There's also park distance control, dynamic cruise control with speed regulation through fuel control or braking feature. There's also quad zone automatic climate control. Again, quad zone, there you go. 2 up front, 2 in the back. That's how it should be in a car like this. And I just love how everything is sort of covered with those veneer covers I described just a moment ago. That's all real wood. And of course, obviously, you can change the type of wood that you want. For an example, I heard about a Rolls-Royce owner who had a very old type of tree in his yard on his property, and he requested for Rolls-Royce to use that tree or one just like it. It's wood for the interior of the Rolls-Royce that he ordered. True story right there. Notice that there's leather just covering everywhere from the center console cover right there. I didn't see anything that was not that wasn't cheap, but that really could not be improved in terms of build quality. Even the plastics were, yes, there were some, but they were all very soft touch plastics of the highest quality as well. And these are the controls here that will open the garage or your front gate, and here we go, a panoramic sunroof. I love these things, and especially in this particular Rolls-Royce Ghost, I think it's great. It really brightens up what I think is a too dark of an interior. All right, so how does this thing drive? Personally, I thought it drove very nicely thanks to its double wishbone front suspension, multi-link rear suspension, which also includes a self-leveling air springs. That's really cool. You're going to see that in just a moment as well. There's an anti-roll stabilization and electronic variable damping control. But I still think more BMW 7 Series driving feel is needed in this. This thing just literally drives like a large yacht. Personally, I would like to be a little more sporty. Remember, this is supposed to be the Rolls-Royce, or so-called Rolls-Royce driver's sedan, but I'm not really so sure that exists, if you ask me. Like, you're still going to get quite a bit of understeer if you try to steer this really heavy thing into a corner. Again, almost 6,000 pounds, so yeah, there's going to be tires squealing. You also have these really nice heated front and rear seats with everything's electronically adjustable. It's so easy to find that ideal driving position regardless of your height. And yeah, you're driving this thing and feel like $1 million. Why? Well, probably because you got $1 million in your pocket at the moment. It really is a special car, as any Rolls-Royce should be. All right, so let's talk the competition. What do we got? Honestly, there's not much when you get to this category. Right away, I'm thinking of the Mercedes-Maybach S550 or the S600. That just begins at around $200,000, but again, it can easily double that amount once you tack on the features. You also have the Bentley Flying Spur. Again, about $250,000 just to begin with right there. Now, one thing about the Flying Spur, you got to remember, or Bentley in general, it's owned by the Volkswagen Group. So Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW, Bentley is owned by the Volkswagen Group. So big competitors right there. Now, I would also like to toss into the competitors mix the Aston Martin Rapide S. That starts at around $200,000, but that is actually more of a real performance four-door coupe sedan-like thing that you're going to get, I think, for a driver or a real driving enthusiast is going to appreciate the Aston Martin Rapide S a bit more than this. But again, I'm just sort of comparing for prices here, apples to apples like that. But in terms of driving, it's going to be apples to oranges with compared to the Rolls-Royce Ghost, right? You see here. So pricing, what do we got for this one right here? Okay, the base price of a 2017 Rolls-Royce Ghost is $295,850. Right there, that's right out of the factory. But with all the features that this one has, such as those $8,000 wheels, a $2,750 destination fee, and a $2,100 gas guzzler tax, again, a combined 15 miles per gallon, total price for this Rolls-Royce Ghost Series II right here, $314,725. Wow. But hey, look, you are getting a twin-turbo V12 uber luxury machine here that it combines the best of British coach building and German technology. I really think they just nailed it, especially with the design. Again, I love this front end right there. You can't see it right now, but there is an electrically retracting Spirit of Ecstasy grille ornament that is standard. It's kind of hidden right there, and the reason why they did that is because in the past, people were ripping off the Spirit of Ecstasy's just because they could, and owners were not exactly happy, and it was a very expensive fix. Now they hide underneath the front hood. Okay, so what do I like here? Well, it's like sitting in a piece of jewelry. What I said, everything is just beautifully crafted. There's those endless bespoke possibilities, and yeah, I really like this exterior design. What don't I like? Well, it could use some additional suspension tuning for maybe a little bit of a sportier ride. And look, it's just expensive. What can you do? It's a Rolls-Royce. And yes, I also understand that the styling, especially the exterior, does not appeal to everyone.